Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are continuing our preview of the main card of UFC 170 right now with Nick Kalikas from MMA Oddsbreaker, and also from MMA Oddsbreaker, MMA analyst Brad Taschek. All right, guys, TJ Waldberger and Mike Pyle is the next fight we're going to discuss. And this fight, man, these guys have some glass jaws here, right? We got two guys who are prone to getting knocked out. So I'm looking at this right now. Mike Pyle minus 200. Waldberger is plus 170 on the other side, considering how relatively competitive I think this fight will be in most areas and how vulnerable each of the fighters' chins are. I'm thinking maybe you take a shot with Waldberger at plus 170, but he just got so knocked out in his last fight that makes me nervous. Brad Taschek, what's your analysis of this fight and these lines?
Well, I think your initial reaction there is the same one that I had,
right.
And that's that TJ Waldberger is worth a shot here. At plus 170. I think he's the better grappler of these two fighters, even though Pyle does have quite a few submissions on his records. I think as far as striking goes, obviously you have to worry about his chin and his defense. They're just pretty horrendous, but at the same time, Mike Pyle is as well. So either one of these guys could land a shot on the feet and hurt the other one. But I think if it goes to the ground, TJ Waldberger is, first of all, one of the most exciting grapplers in the UFC and in all of MMA to watch right now. But second of all, one of the most effective as well. So I like TJ Waldberger. Maybe not for the pick in this fight, but I think I'm leaning a little bit that way. So at plus 170, I do like him here.
But I mean, he got knocked the fuck out in his last fight. You know what I'm talking about. You saw that fight, right?
I absolutely saw that fight, and really it doesn't change my breakdown of this fight because he could very well get knocked out again in this fight. That doesn't change the fact that Mike Pyle could as well, or that if it hits the ground, Waldberger is the more effective grappler.
All right. Well, Nick Kalikas, it's a pretty interesting fight. Are you getting a lot of action on this one? The book's getting a lot of action here?
They will. I mean, and early on, it was all support for Pyle, and now we're seeing a little bit of support back towards Waldberger here, too. And it's funny. I was glad he got knocked out in Waldberger in his last fight because I was on Amagov there. But in this fight, though, I mean, it's a different situation. I mean, you're getting the veteran in Mike Pyle, and you know what? Let's face it, he's the better fighter again in all areas, probably. Well, let me clarify that a little bit. But overall, he's the better MMA fighter. He's more complete. He's got the better striking arsenal. He's got good, solid wrestling. I mean, he's dangerous off his back. So Mike Pyle is a very, very well-rounded fighter in MMA, and that's why he's had success in his career. To me, he's been a little bit of a disappointment overall because I think he could accomplish more. He's that talented. But that being said, I mean, they're kind of feeding him to a young gun and a hungry lion that just got knocked out, of course, but that was the kind of fight that you expected him to get knocked out at. Here, it's kind of a head-scratcher because Pyle hasn't looked – I mean, he was on a nice little roll before he just got knocked out as well, but I think he had nothing to lose in those spots, and in most of those fights, he was actually losing up until he got the knockout W there too, so he made a little bit of a comeback. I think Waldberger's been knocked out in spots before in the past, and I think he's going to rebound here. Hopefully his defense tightens up a little bit, and if he can survive early on, I think he's going to win this fight as well. So it's another dog or pass situation. Waldberger, I agree completely with what Brad said. He's the better, I think, grappler in this spot overall. So that's where I'm clarifying about Mike Pyle there. I think that Waldberger does have some slight advantages in the grappling realm. I think that he could probably get top position, and he's so dangerous, I mean, in the jiu-jitsu realm for sure, against any competitor that he gets in the octagon with, you're always in danger of getting subbed as well. So it is one of those dog or pass situations.
All right, Brad Taschek, considering that both these guys do have a history of getting knocked out, what's your take on the total? Currently it's 1.5 rounds. The over is minus 170. Under is plus 140.
Well, unless you're dealing with some really sloppy Bellator heavyweights, like a Ron Sparks fight or something like that, it's really hard to bet the under 1.5 on two quality fighters. But that said, I was looking over their UFC records, and between the two of them, they've gone under 1.5 12 times and only over it 7 times. So that goes for wins and losses. Both these guys do like to finish fights quickly, so I wouldn't be shocked to see that under 1.5 hit. I think if I was going to do anything, though, I might end up going with the fight doesn't go to decision prop. That's at minus 180. Maybe throw that in there with Rousey money line and get right about even money.
So Nick Kalikas, who do you think you're going to need? Do you think you're going to get mostly split action here?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll probably end up needing dog here. That's kind of the pretty much common thing overall. Depends on certain spots, of course. But yeah, I think we'll need Waldberger to come through here. And it is a spot that I know. I mean, we could look foolish by saying Waldberger has
Right.
a legit shot in this fight because Mike Powell can go out there and floor him. And then we're all stupid here. But I do think there's value. There's a lot more value in this spot of probably betting the underdog in Waldberger because he's got a better chance than most people think. And if he does survive and not get knocked out, he's probably going to win the fight. So current dog price, you got to go with that way, I think.
All right, I'm agreeing with you guys. TJ Waldberger, a little bit of value there at plus